Hi, so I have come across on YouTube a fairly interesting little video and a lot of reaction videos on that video. That video was a pure conservative grade comedy called The New Norm. Just to give a summary, it was about a guy called Norm who wants things to go like the old way, and he's constantly complaining about it in a way that the authors think is funny, but every time I watched it, there's like no funny things to be seen or said about it in most of it. So I'm going to break it down piece by piece. And by breakdown, I mean shatter. Now, let's start by talking about the fact that I haven't really seen a lot of conservative grade comedy. I have heard about things like Ben Shapiro, but I haven't really listened to them or watched them or read a lot of them, just because they're not that interesting in their content, at least to me. This one, however, deserves a bit of special attention because I did come across it and it actually is designed to be offensive, which I sure hope it isn't. So let's have a look at it. So, just to set your expectations, this comedy was set in an American single-family home, somewhere in what is portrayed as a very bad dystopian near future. And it follows this character here, Norm, who quote-unquote attempts to get away from the woke nonsense, whatever that may mean. So from that point on, I'm going to let the audio roll as normal. So apparently Norm has house arrest and is wearing an ankle wrist. In this thing, he's trying to scratch the area below the ankle wrist. There are two problems with this. Firstly, that looks like something that used to be used to spank disobedient kids. And secondly, with my ideology set aside, a ankle wrist used for house arrest shouldn't be this loose.
Ah! What's that?
Progress.
Okay, so at today, in my current work as a supermarket cashier, I haven't really seen a lot of rainbow beer come across on the conveyor belt. I don't know how much it's available and how popular it is, but it appears as if Norm is being forced to drink it, even though he doesn't want it. He just wants normal beer. Also, that robot looks way too generic. It's a HAL 9000 model when they could have used their own model instead. Anyway, let's go to the apparently AI-generated music right now.
It's the new norm.
The new norm ain't the same as the old norm.
The master method to detect AI-generated vocals is that there is no rhyming at all. Humans can rhyme, they don't always do so, but if you hear a robotic voice together with a complete lack of rhyming, or perhaps the same word twice, in which case the computer thinks that that's rhyming, it's probably AI-generated. The next part of the comic is just a bunch of slapstick jokes right after each other, which tend to have no sense behind them. But a more specific and annoying problem is the omnipresent laughing track present in the entire video.
I'm the old norm. I want normal beer.
Yeah, when someone has house arrest, you expect them to know.
Ugh.
Oh, he actually
It's
does.
your fault I got house arrest.
You're the one who threatened the school board.
I gently suggested
Yelled.
they stop brainwashing my daughter that girls aren't girls and men aren't men.
This was when it was the setting. That is when we can know that Norm has house arrest because he threatened the school board over LGBT teachings.
Sometimes they're neither, or both, or furry and dressed like dogs.
Furry is not a gender.
Janice. What's that?
Warning, offensive.
Actually, that is one of my...
Did you catch that laugh track there? It's totally nonsense, but let's go in this sentence.
Actually, that is one of my pronouns. Also they, them, and me.
You're non-binary?
How do you know that word?
I learned it in school.
That's why I'm locked up.
Norm, the judge agreed to conditional parole.
What condition?
Where's my room?
That's
You're
staying here?
Chaz is part of a new government program.
To re-educate homophobic, transphobic, racist...
Yeah, apparently the sons of is making this have pulled a "I'm not racist because I have a black friend" card. This is not always true.
Charlie, finally, someone normal.
I don't understand. You're black.
So, as confirmed, Chaz is a non-binary person who is brought into the house to re-educate Norm. That's why he's under house arrest. But does Chaz really have to stay at Norm's house to do so, given the robot thing that's already there and could be used to re-educate Norm instead? Or, you know, the historical methods in which re-education has occurred? In addition, I absolutely hate his character design. It's almost deliberately designed to be transphobic. Like the different colours eyes, that doesn't happen at all in the real world.
Which means I gotta take in that?
Offensive.
Now I see why that f***ing robot is so f***ing stupid it doesn't even detect the pronouns of Chaz. Why did they writing a robot that is so stupid?
I'm allergic to dogs.
It's okay. Billy is an emotional support dog and non-binary.
Oh, okay then. Good dog.
That's not how allergies work. Plus, maybe dogs don't even have gender at all in the way that humans do. I'm not being offensive here, by the way.
I come here to get away from woke.
Trouble at home?
Ah, my boy, or whatever it calls themselves now, is thinking about transitioning.
Reggie?
Try Regina.
That is called dead naming, a very offensive practice in which someone refers to a transitioning person by their old name.
Transitioning to what?
Hopefully not a Jets fan.
Did you catch that, by the way? One of the very few attempts at trying to make an actual joke. However, it is being ruined by the fact that the laughing track is used both in the setup of the joke and in the revelation. Try again.
Transitioning to what?
Hopefully not a Jets fan.
Hey, pronoun. This bud's for you.
Offensive.
I can't drink. I'm not 21.
Couple of problems. If this show were to stick to its theme, and that would be okay, then the offensive would have occurred at the "hey pronoun." However, another problem is that apparently Chaz is not 21. This could have been revealed earlier. But he can't drink. This apparently has implications for the next part.
Y'all influenced my boy to cut off his junk, but draw the line at beer?
So apparently the makers of this show are both against transgender care for kids and against the drinking age. When it comes to age limits and youth rights in general, pick a side. After Chaz falling into the couch and talking to the judge, who tells him that he can do this and maybe he will fix the country, and Norm complains about not having access to normal beer, everything between quotation marks, we get to the final piece of AI generated music and the pretend audience. And a little side note, by the way, that is not the real VCR EAS font. Plus, this font wouldn't have been used in 4K equipment as implied at the bottom left.
This whole nightmare will end, thank God for Elon Musk. And his post means X is the home for free speech.
Did you catch that? There's kind of a robotic undertone, plus absolutely no rhyming at fucking all. Signs of AI generated music, as I've told before. Oh, and also Elmo doesn't need any praise at all, in fact quite the opposite. Okay, so looking at everything overall, from the deliberately transphobic character design to the absolute lack of jokes and the mockery of what's called woke ideology, whatever the f that means. Does this really
make America funny again?
Well, I would say absolutely not. In fact, quite the opposite. This is like so weird. Actually, I had to watch it a couple times to get the gist of it, and I mean, it's not funny, it's not offensive as it was intended to be. Comedy can sometimes be a bit offensive as long as people, perhaps preferably including those who have been offended, can at least have a simple laugh out of it. But this, I don't know how to call it. It's not funny, it's not offensive as it seems to be intended, other than Chad having like different coloured eyes and other very exaggerated features. But yeah, this is like, especially looking at later episodes, I'm not going to show you here, nor I'm going to do new parts of. But what even is the point of the New Norm show? And why does it have to be this bad? Apparently, some people say that the entire show is AI generated, but maybe not even that. Maybe it truly is a group of conservative idiots who know absolutely nothing about how true comedy works. Normally, comedy is made to be funny, and the comedians think of something, oh, that can be quite funny. And then they show to other people the jokes that are in it and the funny accidents and stuff like that. And those people react to it as the audience intends. Either they find it funny, they find it surprising, heck, they might sometimes find it offensive. And then that feedback is taken back to the comedian, who learns from that for their next play, or their next animation, or their next strips, or anything like that. However, the New Norm appears to be designed to be offensive, especially given the themes and Chaz's character design are basically proof of that. And that's almost impossible to do. Trying to make something that sounds offensive whilst actually offending the opposite of your target audience. Because your target audience doesn't find it offensive, and you tend to not hear a lot from the opposite, or at least you don't take the opposite side seriously. That is how the New Norm, I've heard some other kinds of conservative comedy are made. That also leads me to the fact that I'm not going to be making any more reaction YouTube videos. I'm going to make YouTube videos in general from this point. In fact, I've been a bit successful with that maybe on a small scale. But reaction videos, A, are highly controversial on YouTube, given the people who are credited and who deserve respect. And reaction videos, if they don't credit those people, or maybe even in general, they just profit off of other people's work. And that's a controversial topic. You have people doing it as a day job, and you have people who say, no, that's not to be done at all. Secondly, it's not just what I want. I want to be able to create my own things, and with reaction videos, you're merely just watching someone else's thing that they have created themselves, or as a team anyway, and you're just showing off how it feels to you, and that's not something I want to watch typically, or I want to create especially. This deserves an exception now, because A, there are no credits anywhere on the website, on the video, maybe not even on Twitter, which by the way they unironically call X. No. And secondly, because of the sheer failure to make a true comedy show. Instead they just make something that's designed to be offensive. That is basically just not really funny or anything, and it requires extensive analysis, especially considering the modern backlash against LGBT people, and the fact that Donald Trump is elected and has Elmo, aka Elon Musk, have his back as well. Like open support by Elmo for Trump, who opposes LGBT. Elmo also opposes LGBT himself. So I think everything and anything that shows any kind of hatred towards LGBTQ should be outed publicly and acted against by the general public. Not the government specifically, but just the people should be aware of what they watch and how it reveals the modern society. But I do hope to see you another time. Bye bye. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you do, please give a thumbs up and share this video with all your friends, and perhaps consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.